and welcome back to Roll for Damage, where I take this wonderful group of nerds through my homebrew world in a Rise of Tiamat adjacent campaign. Unfortunately, we don't have Ignis here tonight. He's moving house and burning people, so we'll just hopefully see him next week. Before we start tonight's story, I want to thank a few people. Firstly, our sponsor, Hero Forge. Hero Forge is an online customization tool for creating miniatures. They have a ton of races, weapons, and assets that you can use to make your character whatever you want it to be. I know that I think everyone here at this point has just spent hours and hours and hours making characters and enjoying all the customizations that you can do. You now have the ability to 3D print your minis. That was something that they kickstarted, I think it was just earlier this year. It's been a while though. And yeah, it's really useful if you're not a great painter like Sean. But but they also have professional painting services, so you can get them done up, especially if you have something that you want really, really nicely done. You can also use the character creator to create tokens for your preferred virtual tabletop. So when we go back to using battle maps, hopefully in the next few weeks, I want to show some of those off because they're really, really cool. So yeah, thanks, Hero Forge. All right, next up, I want to thank Sirenscape for the sound. So you were hearing the audio, the music. They have a great library of music to use either through, for your games at home, just play out of a speaker, or you can do what we're doing right now. And all of us are linked up to a online player, Sirenscape's own online player, and whatever I play, they have to listen to, and it's great. Next up, Josh, our tech. Thank you very much. He's also a great painter, and he should definitely drop some of his work in the Discord for people to look at. So you go do that, Josh. And lastly, Bree for the art, who's made all the pretty things. You can see, Ignis is not here, so you can see his art up in his little box, and you can see the rotating characters going through. Right. So I'll do a quick round of everyone saying hello. Tell us where you're from, who you are, all that jazz, and then we'll get an intro out of the way. So we'll start with Shelby.
Hi, my name is Shelby or Whistle. I'm from the channel Whistle While You Work. It's a channel where I tell stories from my D&D experience and draw whatever fun fantasy stuff comes to mind. I'm also a player over on Necro Hunt, ran by Joe Cat, where I play a big badass dual swords lady. But here I play little Nia Arron, who's been made her return this season, and might have some fun if we meet Sloan today.
Okay. Next up is Sean.
Hi everybody, my name is Sean O'Donovan. I am the DM over at Paradise RPG, where I DM our flagship show, Advantage in Paradise, which takes place in my homebrew world of Arron. And that is my nerd home, and I do all sorts of other nerdy stuff over there and here at Roll for Damage. Very exciting stuff. I play Auric Solaris, the irresponsible 1,000-plus-year-old time boy.
Someone in our chat said that's Sean's mum. Who's Sean's mum? Where's Sean's mum? Tell me. I need to know.
Someone gave a gift sub to my mom.
Gift sub.
Yes. Hi, Sean's mom.
It's so cute.
That's adorable.
Thanks for producing a great son. All right.
I feel like the kid at the school play, and the mom has the camera up right now.
All right. Anyways, we'll move along. Next up we have Kelsey.
Hi, I'm Kelsey, also Roguzu, on Twitter, where I draw a bunch of things. It can be from D&D to World of Darkness to my own webcomic stuff. And I have a YouTube where I make videos that talk about the first game that I ever DM'd called Atlantis. And I'm going to be here playing Saren Talonray. So, and she may or may not have to get in the middle of a big fight between a big woman and a tiny lady. We'll see.
Yeah,
It'll be fine.
when you describe like that, yeah, it probably will be fine. Right, and lastly we have Shannon.
Hello, I'm Shannon. I will be playing the big woman this evening. Sloan didn't go for the full cosplay this evening because it's so damn hot. So I'm wearing a more casual Sloan look, but my shirt does say "Don't mess with a Viking girl." So Nia, take heed. Don't mess with a Viking girl.
Yeah, sure.
I am also from Paradise RPG. I now play my rogue again. She came back this week, and it was so fun. So come check us out on Monday nights. Sean and I will be live Sunday night to recap last week's episode. Sean's stream will be moving to Wednesdays, starting in 2 weeks. So,
Yes.
yeah, I have that right? Yeah, okay.
That's correct, yeah. Because next week we're not streaming.
Yes, right. Yeah, that's it. I'm done. Let's play.
All right, just because it hasn't happened in a while and I haven't really given out any sort of info on this for maybe a season and a half. The bar you see at the bottom of the screen, pretty much everything you do to support the channel fills it up. If it hits 100%, there's I'm pretty much gonna flip a coin or draw a card, and it'll have a 50-50 chance between being good or bad. Usually in my games, it's a sort of like Deck of Many Things style event, which causes a lot of craziness. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Okay. Can I get Shannon to do the recap of last week, please?
No fun. No.
All right. Thank you, Shannon.
Yep. Well, we played last week. It started with. Did it start with me last week? I don't make me do it. I'm really bad at it.
It did start with you last week, yes.
Okay, I'm still really bad at this. Can I just do the first half and then Sean does the second half? I don't want to do the whole thing.
Sure.
Thank you. Sorry,
What?
I'm telling you. All right, so we started with Sloan entering, because I wasn't here 2 weeks ago, so we had to kind of fill in the blanks. And we started with Sloan and Oric walking into the city, but then immediately getting separated. And Sloan starts freaking out again because she just got reunited with Oric and now separated again. So, but she gets approached by a guard saying that they are collecting every able-bodied person to go help with like clearing out the city and dealing with the infected and all that fun stuff. So Sloan reluctantly agrees to go help. She tries to make some new friends, but they don't really like her. They think she's really scary, and Sloan just wanted to be a part of the group. So they go off to the warehouses, and then we cut to somebody. It's either Ignis. Oh, she can be, but she wasn't in that moment. Yeah, that's it. That's all I remember from the first half.
All right. So okay. Yeah, Sean, if you could
I
take
can
away
do
from-
the second half.
Yeah, that'll be
half.
good. Thank you.
If there was anything Shannon missed, I won't know it. But when when I finally arrived,
Saren broke Nia out of prison, or like found her after. Was she in prison? I don't know. They met up and they got together and they were weren't they researching?
You
They
do
were
it. You do it
Nia's-
great, Shannon.
Nia's mask
Don't
of many
make me
faces.
do the recap.
Shannon, I'm gonna make this easy for you. Nia's mask of many faces wore down. She was freaked out about it. Then Saren and Nia went to do research, and it was mildly successful. There.
Thank
We're
you.
good. God, Nova,
There
you're
we
a
go.
terrible person for letting this woman squirm like that. How dare you?
I don't intend to do it every time. It's just like I was like, well, I think Kelsey did it last time, and Sean wasn't here, and I just kind of went
Don't
that way across
ever
the
make
screen
me do
and got to
it.
Shannon.
It's a blanket rule. Shannon's got a bad memory when it comes to this stuff, so
Okay.
no.
It's okay. I don't expect you to take notes at all. It's fine.
She doesn't take notes unless you yell at her. Or she
Shannon,
has to do a
take
recap
notes.
show once a week.
All right.
All right.
Continue.
Yes. It's funny though because like the session before this, I had like the most detailed notes I've ever written. But this, I do remember what happened. But this last session, my notes were very particularly about the fancy spell book I got. But Auric arrived at the college where he met Sigmund, who's gifted him a very nice spell book, and they enjoyed a good conversation. It wasn't nice because it was about bad things, but they talked about the state of the city, Montcoulier. He did get a nice fine book with some really good, really interesting fire, pyromantic spells, and ferromancy spells, which the magic school is known for. And he learned a little bit about what has been happening, because a lot has been happening in the months that he was traveling, as we saw with Saren, Nia, and Ignis. He learned about the Ashman a bit more in the form of Ignis. But primarily, he got this book and began planning for how he was going to help the town. We cut then to Ignis and Saren and Nia in the form of, I forgot the name of your disguised person, but they were
Sonia.
Sonia, thank you. They were going door to door essentially and doing the good work. This is before Oric's timeline. We're in a bit of a time swirl right now. Soup, thank you. But they're going door to door, and Nova was just throwing the saddest things ever at them as they were going and just killing people who were sick because there's a plague hitting the city. I'm pretty sure I got to see my buddy Stefan, or at least his family, again in that scene. Maybe not, when Ignis had to go and investigate two parents who were sick while the son was being comforted by Nia in the previous room. In the process of treating them, they began to do the same transformation that happened in the crowd in a previous episode, where they started to melt and fuse together into a horrifying monster that Ignis had to just nuke pretty much. But in the process of nuking it, definitely just ripped apart the back half of this house, and the back half is the house behind them, which we also learn was the uncle's house for this child. As this, I'm pretty sure the scene ends with Ignis moving on, sadly. I love how Ignis deals with horror and trauma with humor, and he's just sort of jaunts over to start killing more people, leaving Nia to try to make sure this kid was okay. And that was that scene. We cut to Sloane, who I missed the first half, so I had no idea how she got into this situation she was in, but it was very intense. She was trapped in a basement, and I believe she was trapped somewhere, and there was a fire.
It was in a warehouse.
Thank you.
Warehouse, and a gate came down.
Gate came down. There was fire. She cut through the wall and found herself in a environment surrounded by people who did not seem to like her. I don't know the context there because I missed the first half. But and when I say a lot of people, I mean a 12-person thick line of people that were surrounding her, and they were not going to let her pass through without a fight. So she started hacking and slashing. And when Sloane hacks and Sloane slashes, a certain bear likes to say "good job," and she found herself in a vision with the shadowy Sloane version of this bear who had a wicked grin on their face, and that's where we ended.
Yeah. Just to go back a moment, I really liked the thing that chat said where I can give you a weekly test. So Shannon,
No, I have one of those already.
I know, but what's going to happen is I'm going to ask you to recap just one character's experiences from the week before, just one, whether it's yours
Why?
or Saren, because you gotta learn.
All
All right.
But you're a truly evil person. You know that?
I am.
You know what?
I am-
I'm just not gonna play.
I am a problem.
Hi, Shannon. It's
he's
been great
protesting.
having you here.
He's
All right.
protesting.
So, anyways, we will start tonight's session with Sloan. Let me just get my notes up because I am fully prepared. All right, Sloan, you are currently slaughtering your way through rebels.
In
You,
self-defense. I want to make that
sure.
perfectly clear.
Sure. You found that your arms were coated with viscera. You were wading into combat. Soon you were covered head to toe. And when you wipe away the gore from your blood-blind eyes, you find yourself in a red room with an image of yourself standing across from you. Their arms open and a fanged smile on their face. The visage flickers a little as they step forward.
I step backwards. No. What? This happened before, and no.
Sloan, welcome. Finally, you have come before me. After so many times reaching out to you, in the guise of memories or the voices of others, in the body of the curse which I inflicted upon you.
Who are you?
An ally.
I don't believe you.
You've shed enough blood to enter my red room. I can communicate with you here, as long as there is enough blood spilled.
I was just trying to get out. It was dangerous. I had to get out. I didn't mean it.
You kind of see as it's just shaking its head, like it doesn't quite believe that you are just escaping.
Was he not watching?
I have told you before. I am a god. I've come to help you to find a way through the coming calamity. Why do you constantly accept and then refuse, accept and then refuse?
Because I don't know. I don't want to be a killer. I don't want people to be scared of me.
He throws a hand up and the red wall sort of shimmers for a second, and then it's like you're staring out from behind your own eyes and you're just watching as your body is still going, hacking through the crowd.
It's dangerous.
It is. You don't want to hurt people, but it is perhaps what you are best at.
No, I'm good at fighting, not hurting people.
I feel like you are misunderstanding what happens when you fight. In any case, don't worry about your physical safety while we are here. I have linked the parts of your brain which govern your ability to fight, to your autonomic nervous system. You are more lethal than you've ever been. When I return you to consciousness, there will be a short delay so that you're not caught unawares.
Make it stop? Make it stop?
No.
Can I like try and like reach through said window to like
yeah, so as you touch it, like it sort of shimmers, and as you pull your hand away, it's just slick with blood.
Please make it stop. I don't want to hurt anyone. I'm just trying to get out. They were going to hurt me.
If you do not give yourself over to me, I cannot keep fueling your power. Why do you wish everything to fall? Something beyond your comprehension is coming. I've tried to guide you. Right now, the world spins around. Two people, threads of fate, converge. You can help. You can stop what is coming with your friends. Or at least, you are vastly more likely to, if you accept. What is more important to you? Doing what you possibly think is right, or saving everything? What would you give to save your friends, to save Auric?
Shoot, I look out at the scene happening again. But if I do what you say, that is going to be me. I don't want that. I don't like that.
This was who you were. This is who you are.
No, it is not. I am
Sort of-
different than that.
He slides his hand back, and it's like a bunch of pictures like flicker until it comes back to other memories of you and Arrays doing exactly the same thing, back from your teenage years to young adulthood, just fighting and raiding and killing people for their things.
I don't do that anymore. Not looking at them.
I cannot hold you here forever. I can communicate with you when you spill enough blood. I am asking you to do what is right for everything. I am bound to you. I did not intend to be picked up by you, but when your hand fell on the blade, I was not unhappy to be with such a proficient killer. I am now tied to you. I will not be able to find another host. If you give me up, I will cease to be.
Well, maybe
Your
that is
weapon.
for the best.
He slides his hand again, and it flicks from your memories to his. And you see this tall, dark, cloaked entity, and it just grabs someone by the face, rips, like, puts its hand in the guy's jaws and rips open his head and, like, breathes in, and it seems to suck out all the magic, the soul, and the life force of this person. And the entity sort of, like, increases. And as it shifts, you see it's again behind someone else's eyes. It's something running forward with a weapon and trying to fight back this creature. And there's these lines of energy just slowly pouring into it. And as the whoever's fighting it sort of jumps back, it jumps back, and you see that you can hear the flapping of wings as it moves further and further away. And you can see that where this black cloaked creature is moving, everything within about a mile is just falling over dead. Slowly, the power from those things are being sucked into this entity.
Is that what is coming?
Yes.
Well, then how do we stop it? How do we do... is there anything we can do to prevent it?
I keep trying to tell you, you keep denying. You do not want to make the hard decision. Stop being weak. You have made your way to my red realm. Be who you are meant to be. Fight how you are meant to fight. You have no idea what I gave up to be here.
Well, then tell me.
I am a god of blood and savagery, of cold and strength. I had to steal power from another god, inciting their anger. I made a nest in the second layer of the abyss under a vile demon lord. I pulled the edges of that realm in, condensing it into the blade you hold, cutting myself off from everything that gives me power. To be here, to break the rules of the gods, to help you, to help not just mortals, but everything. The other gods are too caught up in their foolish rules to fight, to do what they need to. They make no effort to stop their own destruction. So I come here, and I weaken by the minute. Unless you will accept me. It'll take time, but you could be my avatar. You can be more.
Can I protect my friends?
You can, but the things that are happening, there are no gods, no titans, nothing to stop the horsemen. It will be hard. You may lose some. I cannot promise that they will survive this, but it will be much more likely if you accept.
Think about it for a second. Can you promise me that you will protect Ulrich?
Over the course of time, you will take on my power. You will feel my thoughts, my instincts. You will be the one protecting Ulrich. But it will require sacrifice on your part to get to the point where you can use what I'm giving you. If you ever need to talk to me, after blood is spilled, hold the blade and concentrate. You can come here. It has taken a lot of energy to make this meeting happen.
But I don't want to hurt anyone anymore.
War is coming. Not just the battle between cults and nations and ideas, but the entity of war itself. You may not want to hurt anyone, but if you do not, this world ends. It is up to you to try and stop it.
Why me? Why do I have to do it? If I'm such a monster.
He sort of
Can't
looks.
I just give you to somebody else?
I will die. Sometimes it takes the right monster to fight monsters. And this vision sort of recedes, and you're back in your own you're back in your own body, and you see as you sort of your arms carve down through the shoulder all the way through one body, through the legs of the next, and reverses up, bisecting another opponent with just one single swing. You pass through three. You don't consciously know there's someone behind you, but your body reacts, just stabbing backwards and kicking the weight off the blade. And all of a sudden you have control again, and there's only maybe 3 or 4 opponents left, but you are about waist deep in bodies.
Can I try and just push my way past them?
They seem to have no sense of preservation. They keep pushing at you and running after you. If you try to push through, they're going to chase and follow. And you can hear from further afield something chanting and heading your way. You can make a perception check if you wish to kind of get an idea of what that is. The
18.
18? Okay. So as you kind of look around and I'll say that you something runs at you with a knife, you sort of just push it aside and try to climb out of this corpse pile. You can see that you might have been gone for a couple minutes, 2, maybe 3. And in that time, you have slaughtered your way through easily over 100 people. And in the distance, you can see these sort of shambling, moving horrors, these half melded together people. Behind the first row is the shadow of something much larger. You can sort of see that its arm is made from 2 people just joined together, where their bodies are fused in this twisting gnarl of flesh. You can hear the chant of "Fa le sha, fa le sha," as it just sort of marches towards you.
All right. Well, seeing it, how dangerous that looks, and thinking of Auric and thinking of my other friends, I will take a deep breath. I will grip the sword, and I will say, okay.
Okay. You feel, as you say okay, blood starts running between your fingers, splattering thickly to the ground. You feel sort of like an unseen wind just whip your hair straight up, and the bear cloak on you starts unfolding down your hands, creating claws as you accept and begin to change. I will cut back to the others while you are slaughtering people. Yep. Enjoy the lycanthropy. So off goes Werebear Sloan, and we'll snap over to Sarah and Nia, you still just researching?
Yeah, I think so.
And probably
Was that
sent off that letter.
Yeah, do you want to just tell me exactly what you what was in the letter?
So, yeah, wherever she can get like a carrier pigeon or anything of that sort, that would have this kind of access. I don't know how these things work. I don't know if pigeons have ranks. But if
Corporal
she
Jeff,
just-
the head carrier pigeon. Yep.
yes, all right, awesome. Gonna send out a letter to someone that she knows, who is named Amir Vaughn, and she is going to write out, I'm seeing signs of pestilence, the plague. There is possibly information in the books of your ancestors. And she's going to write out the name of the Vaughn that was in that one book that they had found. And it's going to write like, search. The situation is dire here. I'm suddenly blanking where we are.
Montecooler.
Monteculo. You might be able to find an answer that we don't have here. Signed. She probably doesn't sign it.
Okay. Just a blank at the bottom. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So you send that off. And are you still researching?
Yes.
What specifically are you guys researching?
What the fuck is this? How to stop this kind of shit? Pestilence? It's the same thing. It's just like, man, I'm
Probably trying to translate shit that we couldn't
Yeah.
read before.
pretty much. I will beat the dead horse of pestilence that they ride on, I swear.
Okay. Can I get you to roll? Nia, you can roll a intelligence check with proficiency.
Whoa. Okay. I love having a +5 to rolls.
And me.
Saren, you can roll a history check with advantage.
Oh, he-ho.
Oh, that did nothing. That was an 11.
Yeah.
Okay. Out. Ooh. 25.
Okay. Nia, you learned that you used to call yourself a translator, and in fact, all you was a person that could cast a simple spell. And you realize why people were sort of like, hey, don't steal my job by doing magic.
Even
It's
though
not-
I didn't work in this country.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
So it should take more practice and learning than just someone having an innate ability of magic to translate texts. And you realize this after several hours of just not understanding a single thing you're looking at.
I do have a way that I can comprehend this. I'm just not expending it yet.
Moving right along. Saren, you find more histories and tales of people a long time ago fighting against the vanguard to the horsemen that came and fell on Duskfall, a city to off the north of this continent you're on, in the Pirate Isles. The problem is the dwarves tend to lock up a lot of that old information, and there's not many human families still around. The only name that sort of still rings true that might be around is someone called Dakara's Stormwarden.
Stormwarden.
Make a religion check for me.
I was just about to say, like, I just kind of like look at my rapier and was just like, oh, do you know them? Do I have any religion? Oh, I do. 20.
Okay. Stormwarden is also the name of the storm goddess Cyrene. Her name being Cyrene Stormwarden.
Oh shit, that is you. I'm sorry. She says to like to her rapier. Well, she takes out her rapier and just is like, you know, I've never had anything holy talk to me in my entire life. And I don't even know, I'm probably just a crazy person right now, even just doing this, but still, gotta do crazy shit to accomplish crazy shit. If you could somehow hear me through this thing and help me, because I want to fucking stop the horsemen. Just help.
Just roll a dice for me and just tell me what that number is. I've chosen a number between 1 and 20. So you can't be like, yay, that 20 or oh
Yeah,
that 1.
no.
You've gotta,
I'm gonna roll
what
my
you
big
get.
dice. Goes right on that middle line of a 10.
Okay. So you kind of talk to the weapon and this faint like travels down it. It's a little bit of lightning. But it doesn't talk, doesn't give anything more than that. It's like it recognizes that you want to help, but it can't interfere.
What's the point of you guys if you don't interfere with so many things? That's what you're made for. Fine. Maybe another time.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep going.
All right. Is there anything else you guys wish to do or plan or something?
The only kind of thing is that Saren kind of on a break just look over to Nia and just say, been processing a lot, and I just want to say that I'm sorry for bringing you along on that trip with Ignis.
Oh. It's not your fault. You didn't know.
That's still a shitty situation that I put you in. So, wanted to apologize for that.
She kind of shifts almost a little uncomfortably as she like sets the book that she was like looking through down. I have a question for you.
Yeah, shoot.
You're strong, and Ignis is strong, right?
Yeah, in our own ways.
Does that mean you have to kill people?
No, it doesn't. Being strong doesn't mean that you have to kill people.
Then why do so many do it?
I wish that I knew. I've seen a lot of it. Strong people, people in high regard. I don't know why so many do. Some is for the greater good. Some, or a lot, I just think they've lost a part of themselves that care.
Can I be honest about something?
Of course.
I hate the term of the greater good.
Hmm.
It's a flowery term that's used to make it okay when a lot of people are hurt.
Yeah.
They say something happened for the greater good with absolutely no care for the people that it displaced or harmed or lives that it destroyed.
Yeah.
Tired of people saying that the greater good is why they hurt people. That's what my friends did. They said we were doing things for the better, but everywhere we go, someone got hurt. Towns were destroyed. People were killed when it was supposed to be a fight for sport.
Oof. Do you know why they did that?
No. The first time I don't even understand why she did that. The person she was fighting was on the ground and he said he was done and she just kept going and going and going. Does strength mean that you have to be a bad person?
No.
That you
It doesn't.
Then why is every strong person I've met like that? You're the first one that I haven't seen kill someone within hours of me meeting them.
Honestly, that's an answer that I've been trying to search for myself. All I want to do is to help people with the strength that I have. I want to do good. I don't want to do bad. And sadly, shitty people get strong. And shitty people use their strength a lot. And it's so easy to see it. It can be harder to see it for the good. But that's what I'm trying to turn around.
So, Nia, up until this point, has been pretty closed off. This is the first time I think you're really seeing past that mask that she puts on. Like there's tears welling up in her eyes. Her hands are shaking and she's wringing them and she's listening to what you're saying and trying to process it, but she's like clearly getting distracted.
Hey, is it okay if I, like, she kind of like holds up her hands kind of like near your shoulders, like, is it okay if I
she just
touch?
gives like she gives a shrug, like, you can if you want. She doesn't really care.
Okay. She kind of puts her hands on her shoulders. You've been through a lot, and this is upsetting you. We take a break, and Just know you can be strong and be good too. And I know that you can be good too.
You can like physically feel her shoulders tense at that.
Do you want good, Nia?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know anymore. I'm angry and I'm frustrated and I'm scared and I want to do good things, but I'm also so mad at everything that's happened up to this point that I also want justice. But I know that justice is never going to be seen. No one cares about a settlement no one knew about. And right now, if they hear, I'm nothing but a criminal here.
Well, you got a lot to work on then. And I think the first thing would be to talk to this, I guess I won't call them your friends, I'll call them this group that you've been with. You need answers, I think, to know the answer of why this woman has done the things that she's done. I don't need you, I'm not saying for you to accept the answer or be happy with it, but I think that knowing the answer for why she's done it would be good. And then I think for you to express everything that you've just said to me, to them, would be something. Because I feel like you haven't told them any of this.
She shakes her head. We never really had the chance. Things just kept happening over and over and over again. It wouldn't stop. We barely got a break.
Well, if I've learned and heard anything about myself is that I'm incredibly stubborn when it comes to having to say my own word about things. So I will push for you to have a conversation with them.
If they're even still alive out there. I haven't seen them in months.
No, I heard that they traveled out somewhere to deal with something with the noble son.
I last saw them before I got locked up. They're the ones who stopped me from fighting my brother.
Did they know why that you were fighting them?
They'd fought him before. They knew. My brother had decided to blame me for something I never asked for. And made up lies that I had attacked others, that I had destroyed towns to make people come after me. I don't remember a lot of what happened. That was right before the dragon cult took me.
The dragon. the dragon.
Oh yeah,
cult
you didn't know that one. Fuck. Okay.
The dragon cult took you.
Oh, right. I'm sorry, I didn't. She kind of holds up her robot arm.
But her sword just starts glowing like this cold blue, and like her eyes, like her pupils, like kind of flare with a little bit of light. And it's like, okay.
They took me and they took my arm. My friends got me out and then they left me on a boat. They didn't even say goodbye. They just left me there.
I'm going to increase my stubborn ass levels and absolutely make sure that shit is said between you all. I'm
sorry, watching Shannon's reaction is the best thing in the background.
And What the fuck?
I love you guys, I swear. Please don't be
Okay.
angry at me.
While you're comprehending that, we're going to move across to Auric, who's had a good few hours now reading the book, trying to understand the sigils and glyphs and runes inside it to get an idea on how these new spells work. You can see that, like, you know, they tie into other schools of magic, but they all draw their power from the earth itself. It's like every spell has a somatic component or a glyph that you've written down. It's all about drawing from up through the ground into yourself and then using the arcane magic from there. You get a knock on your door, and from outside you hear, hello, Oik, are you there?
Yes, come on in. Sorry.
The door swings open. He's like, I am Roland, your instructor. I'm a class 5 Fraumancer. I've been told to take you outside to the grounds to give you a bit of a rundown on the spells and as they work. You can see he's just bone tired right now. He's just like, eyes are very heavily lidded. He's, you know, just kind of like wants to get this over with, sort of thing.
You said Ferromancer, right? Cool. Yes, of course. Lead the way, Roland. I recognize that look. You're tired.
Very astute. Let's go. He sort of like leads you downstairs. As he's walking, he's like, so is there any particular spells you're curious about?
Some of these spells, of course, I've heard of. But of course, as you are Ferromancer, I'm particularly interested in this school, the way that it doesn't draw from another plane. So, I mean, we can start with... I'm particularly interested in the Maglock Snare, if that's Ferromancy, I believe.
Yes, it is. It is a somewhat misnamed spell, but allows you to summon iron from the earth. But you force it into a very dense configuration around the target's limbs, and you stop them from being able to move, sort of locking them in place. Other schools of magic have a similar sort of thing, like they can hold people, but this is a more physical hold due to the summoned iron.
Interesting, I love it. I had a similar spell before it was taken from me, or at least I lost the equations and need to rewrite them. But I'm very interested in that one.
From where he sort of like set you up, he's actually got some like birds and cats and dogs and stuff, and he opens a little cage and a pigeon flies out, and he sort of makes a swirling motion and then pushes it as he says a word under his breath, and you see this little pigeon gets 2 little iron bands around its feet and just falls to hit the ground. And it's a little pigeon, so it's very dead, but yeah, especially useful on flying creatures. They well, if they stop, they fall.
Interesting.
You'll find a lot of these spells have a interesting ulterior use.
Excellent. That is my favorite kind of spell. Now, given the spell Maglock Snare, interesting name. I don't know who's naming these spells, but is there size limits? Like, how much iron can you draw into the air to bring something down from the sky?
We have. Look, I am not as powerful as some, but currently it is. I have brought down a Griffon. I think is the largest. I'm not sure if you can get much more personally. You'd have to experiment and see for yourself. I've been told to give you a place to do some experimenting.
I'd very much like that.
Well, I can show you to a warded room after this, if that is what you want.
Oh yes, very much.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Paper, vellum, ink.
That is easily attained. I was more talking about in terms of these spells. Is there anything you want to know about?
Yes. Again, I don't know who's naming these spells, but this molten entanglement.
This one, it is a difficult spell. It is requires a great deal of power. It is currently the pinnacle of my abilities. I will show you, but you might want to stand back.
Oh yes.
I'm going to excite the metal in the earth to superheat it. It will cause the ground to melt. I will also pull the metal up to the surface, and the rock here will become molten. Those unlucky enough to be caught in this radius will be burnt and maybe locked into stone as it cools. I hope you do not have a affinity for dogs. And he opens a cage and a dog runs out. He sort of throws his hand out, and this time flat, makes a swirling motion, and you see the ground just quickly heat and sort of like start to flow a little bit, and just the heat coming off it is intense. And I don't know for those who watched Futurama and Fry's dog, but pretty much instantly just burnt it.
Dolomite, baby.
But he also locks in place.
Yeah.
As the heat burns, then it cools down and becomes stone again. He can't move.
Yeah. Impressive.
He seems to like panting, like, I can only do that very few times in a day. It's taxing.
You may not know all of the answers. I was speaking to Sigmund earlier, and I'm curious, as a instructor and class 5 ferromancer, as you said, what do you make of this magic and the way it's drawn from the earth? I'm sure as a skilled mage you know of the other schools and their restrictions.
It's, from what I understand, it's that this school of magic is not from another plane. It's from here.
It's drawn from reality, essentially.
From the world of Tariel, yes. Some have thought that possibly it is the spirit of the world, who many worship as a god, Sylvanus. He's sort of, the dwarves believe that the metals in the ground are his lifeblood. So maybe it is something to do with that.
Curious. I was hypothesizing, or I researched above, you draw something from the physical reality around you. Many of our spells, well, are spells from other places. We draw upon those planes, or those who cast draw upon those planes, but many of those elements, many of those equations, they exist in the material world. Curious if you could draw upon any magic from reality. Perhaps not to the scale, but
I'm not sure. It is an interesting thought to have.
I have many interesting thoughts.
Sigmund would know more, but he's also busy on the walls most times. I think there's our greatest library was in Yakalheim. There was a mage called Zafen or Zafel something. He's very old. He's dead now, but he had a grand tower and a basement where he experimented, and he kept extensive notes. If there was anyone that would have some writing on the things you're looking for, possibly there. Otherwise, maybe possibly the elves in the south, but they are very hard to get to currently. They're at war with the Yadorns, and that is not going to be an easy place to get to. I would recommend checking out the tower I'm speaking of is in the lost part of the continent. In Yakalheim is surrounded by vicious northern barbarians and their demonic allies.
Well, the road leads there anyway. So, and if I'm to deal with this cult in any way, or whatever's happening to your fair people, we'll need more power.
Well, if you want to learn anything else about any spells, I'm here. Otherwise, I can get an order of vellum and ink to your room, but I desperately need sleep. It's been a long day.
Yes, there's much you're dealing with here. Are we, we're in like a courtyard here, or like outside, yeah.
Yeah.
And I would appreciatively look at this tired mage, and there's much your college can teach me, and maybe even much I could teach you, if you're interested at any point.
Maybe when the current crisis is over, you could share some of your secrets. It would be interesting. For now, I'm going to return to my room. And he sort of like looks up to the second floor balcony, where you can see the windows open, or the door is open. Unless you
before you go, one last thing.
Yes.
The Umberheart, the head of house. Everyone has been cagey about telling me where he is, his state. Do you know anything?
I believe that they're going to mention it at dinner, and since that is only, and he sort of looks up, maybe a couple hours away. Hopefully Sigmund will not be too upset, but he is in a coma. He believes that he suffered some malady. His all half of his body went slack and he fell over into a deep sleep. We are not sure what to do. We believe the stress of what's going on did something to him, but we are not sure. We are also aware that there is a powerful biomancer amongst the five, so potentially she has done something to him. Just to be
I suppose
clear,
this plague may...
Sorry, continue.
I suppose this plague may be they're working as well.
Potentially, but I do not understand how it is done. There is no school of biomancy. There is no... It is sort of like a pyromancer is not a school in itself. It's just a collection of different spells all to do with fire. It seems that is anything that could alter the states of life and death in the human body, or any body. She has abilities that are far exceeding what any mage should have.
Well, seeing your magic drawing from what we don't understand as a plane, drawing from reality, perhaps a god within this planet. There are innumerable magics to be drawn from reality, and this may be one. As such, there may be... You've heard the five do not suffer from wild magic surges.
I have heard of... Is this why you were asking a question before?
One of many reasons. Proper scholar never has one reason for anything.
Obviously. Well, I'm not sure how they do it. It apparently that they pull directly on the ley lines but such power. We have rules against trying it. There are many mages who have been turned to dust trying. It's too much power for a body to take. Even something as in the old days, there was tales of dragons trying it, and even they were obliterated.
Well, it is a year for new realities.
If you're going to try it, please, nowhere near where I live.
Well, this is why I'd like you to show me to these warded experimentation chambers.
I do not know if our wards will have the strength to stop that particular...
I will not be trying that. But
Oh, okay.
I've learned a few lessons recently about
Is it-
trying unstable magics in populated places.
He turns and points to, like, it looks like a bunker. It's just like a squat stone building with a heavy reinforced door. He's like, if you go underground there, you'll be in the warded rooms. Is there anything else, or can I get some sleep?
No, please rest your weary head, Roland. Though I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Alright, he turns towards the building, and you hear the sound of a coin hitting the ground. And then as he turns, Roland lands on the second story balcony. Just walks into his room.
Coin shot. Okay. I mean, as best I can, I think I would go into the bunker and start experimenting with the spells the best I can from the book.
Okay.
Starting off with Maglock. Particularly Maglock is the one I'm most interested in.
Okay. You can start doing that, and we'll have a chat in just a moment because we're going to take a break. It's about the halfway mark. So we'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching so far, and we'll be right back. Thanks for the raid. I'm sorry I missed it. Bye. Howdy, and welcome back to Roll for Damage. We've had a interesting sort of session so far where Auric's been learning some spells. Sarah and Nia had some big meaningful conversation. And Sloane, I guess, also kind of did, but it's more about like, hey, want to be a murderer? Which, you know, she already was, so it wasn't really hard for her. Say what you want to say. No? Okay. So, Auric, you've just got into this bunker, and you are gonna try a spell of some sort. What are you trying?
I am gonna try. I want to try Maglock Snare.
Okay. What are you trying it on?
Is there anything? Is like in this bunker? Are there things like dummies or anything I can experiment on, or is it just a bunker?
You kind of need to target a creature. So unless you're gonna target yourself, which you can do, just you know.
I wish Gladstone was here.
You will get a shipment of paper, so you can take the time to relearn and write down.
I would like to do that.
Okay.
You've been overdue for that reunion.
Okay, so you take the time. You've been given the paper and ink for this one. I'll let you have a total of 10 spell levels that you
Excellent.
can do with the paper and ink. Otherwise, you gotta start providing it yourself. It's expensive.
No problem. I'm very okay with that. I think that's a fair deal for
Yeah.
having lost all my 1 through 3 spell slots.
Yeah.
Last
Yeah.
session.
So
session.
they provide you that, and I guess the first way you do is you spend that time to just Gladstone up.
The very first, even if this wasn't what was happening in this session, where there was some experimenting to do, the first thing I was going to do, no matter what, was to get Gladstone back.
Okay, so you're going to immediately do the ritual once you've written that all down.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
down. I think you would also have spent the time to get the materials needed for this.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
I like you've come into this place, you've had some downtime. I'd say that you would have collected things you need, and it's only a
Okay.
few gold for you since you threw, kids' money before. So set out the ritual.
Mhm.
You do it, and from the single feather grows Gladstone in a cracking of bone and a fusing of flesh sort of like pops into being. It's just like looks around and looks at you, and like as much as an owl can look like have like this fuck, that's like what it looks like. And it sort of like hops about a bit, sees it's in a closed room, and just sort of like with his little wings like shrugs.
Welcome back, old boy.
He's waiting for you to do anything. He's just like refusing to speak to you. Like he'd had some time to himself to like be himself again without being constantly called to you. And now he's just like, fuck this. Never should have signed that contract.
Yeah, I was like, I hope you enjoyed your vacation. Don't worry. Well, I'm going to our arrangement still stands, but I have recently, under pain of imprisonment and self-reflection, I will not exclusively use you for experimentation anymore.
Because this is sort of like a fey alpha, you sort of see like its beak sort of like reforms a little bit into this like slight smile for a moment, and then goes back to its beak shape.
I would like you to enjoy some of the material realm.
He sort of like looks towards the door, hops over and like pecks it a couple times.
After this,
Oh, okay.
you can have the whole. You'll have the evening to yourself. How does that sound?
Yeah. All right. You finally get a telepathic sort of like, that is most kind.
All right.
For you.
For now, I will need you to fly about. Just circle.
Could I have some understanding of what this is going to entail?
I'm going to bind you within iron and have you fall to the ground.
He looks at his like little owl legs. And is just like, could I not just hop around on the floor?
I need to see the full range of effects. You understand the notes must be thorough.
He flies like a foot off the ground and like slightly like goes up and down a little bit, like so he's not too far. And he's like flying real slow.
I'll accept that compromise. And I'll begin the components for the... I'll have the fine crimson leather book out, and I'll start working on the spell.
Yeah. So usually a lot of these spells have components, but you have a magic bit of spell focus. So go nuts. Actually, let me just check that this spell doesn't consume anything.
I don't have the spell description right now.
Okay, I thought I'd sent it to you, but I'll resend it again in a little bit. And I'll read the spell for everyone to hear, so they understand what the hell is going on. As I scroll down through my notes. Okay, so you're trying Maglock Snare first, right?
Mm-hmm.
It only requires it's a verbal, somatic, and material component. It's got a range of 120 feet. Cast time is 1 action. It requires a 1-inch cube of iron to cast, usually. And you conjure bands of magical iron around the wrists and ankles of a target within 120 feet, magnetically snaring the target, reducing their speed to 0 and knocking them prone for a round. A successful strength save will only halve their movement speed and not knock them prone. You can do this up to a large creature. And that's it.
All right, excellent. All right, so I'll lay that spell book out, or I'll have it floating in front of me, and I'll read out these somatic components. I will, if necessary, summon my mage hand to do any somatic components necessary with my other hand. And I imagine there's I always imagine with spell focuses, like spell books and stuff, there's aspects of it that replace it and move in the same way that it would in a normal description. And yeah, I'll try to conjure up some iron bands around Gladstone's wings, his little wings.
So you sit there and you kind of you feel the eye whir a couple times, and it's like it's resisting a little bit. It doesn't like that you're using a new school of magic, and eventually after just a moment it gives in, and you hold your hand out in the right way, and you sort of in the air you make a shape that you're meant to turn, and that sort of creates the lock. And as Gladstone is flying along, you see the 2 iron bands just whoosh, and he just falls to the ground. And you can see that little tiny ones are around the tips of his wings, and he just sort of sits there, wings out, legs bound together on the floor, and he's just trying to get up, and he can't.
Okay.
Are we done here, sir?
Couple more. I'll need to see you resist this one. I need to see its capacity. And I will need to just do a few more after that, just to fully understand its uses, the maneuverability of where the placement of the iron goes. It'll take no more than an hour.
You realize that I'm just a small creature, yes? That it feels like I'd have to pull myself out of these irons. Why don't you test this on your brute that you have around you all the time?
I don't know where she is. I thought about that because she's very strong.
Well, letting me out of here, I could probably find her for you.
Well, I have a few more we need to do at least. We'll say a half hour.
Are they going to hurt?
The next few might, but after that it won't.
Do you think we could find her first?
No.
Why must you make this so difficult for me?
I've already shortened the time that I'm experimenting on you and giving you the night off. I don't understand the fuss.
Yes, but you've turned me inside out several times, and you've mutated.
And I'm not doing that right now. I'm just putting some jewelry on you.
Why would you choose a sentient familiar for this? I don't understand.
Because I so enjoy these conversations.
But I was meant to help you with your magic, and I got to see the material realm. I thought that meant help you understand, not be a meat puppet to be toyed with.
And you have seen much of the material world, and we will pursue understanding it more. You are part of these experiments as well. You can bring up your observations as well, Gladstone.
My observations usually are how this hurts.
And that is an excellent observation.
How many
If you
times
have
have you
others-
summoned me, Master?
At this point, during my torturous stay away with the 5, I've lost count. It was somewhere in the 70s. Which is pretty good for how long we've known each other.
Yes, but you only summon me when you need to hurt me, and I'm pretty sure my average lifespan in the material realm is something like 12 minutes.
In the last year, I've used you for scouting a lot more than I used to in the last couple centuries.
That is fair. I've had longer. Fine, what's next?
Okay, all right. Well, in this one, I'm going to... this is the only one that's going to probably be really uncomfortable. I'm going to try to summon the bands around your neck. Fly up in the air, please.
Sorry. What?
I'm going to try to summon the iron bands around your neck. Please ascend.
He flies over and like lands on your shoulder, like look at the books. Like, it says they're meant to go around them.
I understand that, but like I've said, and you've experienced in many of these experiments, I desire to push the boundaries of the magic. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Going to be having a word to my family about this. And he starts flying around.
Have as many words as you'd like with them. I'll cast the spell again.
It doesn't quite go around his neck. Instead, you're trying to like move the ones from his wrists to his neck, and obviously from his feet to his neck. And what it ends up kind of doing is just creating a chain between the points, because it's kind of you've got the idea that the magic's meant to move from there to here, and instead all it's doing is creating a link between the wrists. Like for some reason, some part of this doesn't quite want to work. There are like you feel like you're close to doing something else, and as you look, the where the metal's usually around the wrist is now like slightly more up his arm.
Fascinating. It seems like we're getting closer, Gladstone, but also this new effect, this linking, could also prove quite useful. What do you think?
Look, you've already made me a prisoner. This kind of seems fitting.
I legitimately am asking for your opinion now. I am accepting your perspective on this realm. As, I wouldn't necessarily say equals, but as colleagues.
Well, so you can link these pieces of metal, yes? There's possibly
what it
other
appears
things you
so.
could- Right, maybe I don't think you have the right type of have you got any metal on you? I think you could use this to create or manufacture a new spell. You're creating a link, but does the link have to be physical? Maybe you could attract two objects to each other.
Ooh, we can take advantage of the magnetic aspect of the spell.
Why do I feel like I've just given you a stupid idea to hurt me again?
So I gave away my larger dagger, but thankfully I have another. And a small knife.
I'm not having to hold these, am I?
No. We're going to magnetically pull them towards you.
I really would prefer not, sir.
I'll dull them.
No, that
I can. Oh, wait, if you like, I could use some of the dunamancy to try to misshapen them into some sort of non-sharpened edge.
Let's just get.
Would that be better for you?
Let's just get this over with. It's fine. It's fine.
All right. And then the thing is, I'm not even exactly going to try to completely pull it to you. I'm going to try to cast Maglock Snare on you and bind you to it. Now, granted, it's not heavy enough. It's more so that it's going to be bound to you in this magnetic link we're talking about here. This was your idea.
At least if it fails and I perish here, I'll go back to my son's birthday.
I didn't know you had a son.
Well, you never asked.
Weren't you some dreadful creature beyond?
No.
Powerful entity?
Yes. I have family and children and a realm that I'm meant to look after, and you're always summoning me here, and every time I go back, my brothers... Look, just let's do this, okay?
I'm going to... There. Let's proceed. Right.
Okay. So, you're going to try to cast this again, and you're trying to create the bands around Gladstone and magnetically charge them so a knife comes flying towards it.
Yes. The idea just being, can we create a non-corporeal link between metal and the metal iron on the bands, on the wrists? This is the only metal I have, so that's what I'm going to use it on. The idea being this would work on other metal, so this could potentially be used to do further binding or to pull metal towards something, or just keep pushing this change to the spell.
Make an Arcana check.
Yes, sir. That is a 21.
Okay. So he's standing there. He's like, I don't want to fly this time. Just do what you're doing.
It's fine.
And you cast the spell. And how many third level spell slots you got left?
This is
third or second?
This is I think technically this would be third, and that would be my last.
Yep, third.
It is third. Yeah, I checked.
Cool. So as you do it, the bands appear, and he sort of like falls down again, and the dagger sort of just like shakes along the floor for a second and stops.
Fascinating.
He's like face down, so he's...
Pardon?
Starts flapping, trying to move, but he's face down and not a strong animal.
Huh. I'll stop the spell.
Thank you. I think...
Yes.
Stupid contract said I had to help you with your magic. Look...
You asked to be more
I
involved.
understand. Just let me talk and let me vent and let me think.
Certainly.
You always have to say something, Auric. Anyways, it seems to me that the summoned iron is magnetically... Well, no, it's more magically resonant than magnetically. You'd need something else. Like if you have 2 daggers, you might be able to pull them together, but this is not going to work. And I'm especially happy with that because I don't want knives flying at me again.
I see. So it is manipulation of the spell could work on non-conjured iron, magnetically pulling it together, but for the conjured iron to be pulled, it needs other conjured iron.
Yes, I think.
Do you know what other people use familiars for?
What do they use familiars for?
They use them for scouting, and what happens when they get used them for scouting is more often than not they get eaten.
Sure, but I can fly, and I would, you've made me an out. I could just look down, and then I wouldn't be.
But they also dominate their minds.
Seems very rude.
It does. I just simply experiment on you. But I think
very rude.
It is rude. It's a different sort of rude. But this has been a fruitful conversation. I see you. I hear you.
I really hope you've learned something, because usually when I try to talk, you just tell me to shut up, and that's it.
Well, ever since that swamp, that's just kind of been the deal.
I think your experiments might be pushing things a bit far. From sometimes maybe you could just ask someone to give you a scroll to learn from and not have to figure this out yourself. Understand there's other scholars out there, and you don't have to do everything by yourself. It's kind of like You've talked to me and you've not let me respond, so I'm going to take this chance now. You've tried to reconnect with your daughter several times, and you could have just asked your wife if that to help, but no, you had to do it yourself.
I don't think you remember my history. Gladstone, my wife, is dead.
Did she have a sister?
I don't remember who my extended family is.
Makes sense why I don't remember.
We also never married. But anyway,
What? Ooh.
this has been somewhat traumatic. I think it's time for you to have your evening.
I feel. Did I offend your work?
No, I just was finally had something that was maybe distracting me from the true horror that has been the last few months, but that's okay.
Yes. Well, life with you is always horror, so I guess.
Well,
That's,
at least you have somewhere to go when the horror ends. Have the night to yourself. If you see Sloane, peck her a little and point her in my direction.
Maybe. And he flies off.
You have such a sassy owl, Oric. Holy shit.
Oric will close the books and go work on some scribing.
Some scribing. Okay. So, you've all met Gladstone proper now.
Poor Gladstone. I still feel terrible for him.
As you should.
Hey, he gets to go somewhere when we have to stay here in the horrifying world.
After
He gets to
everything
leave
you
Tario.
did, okay,
He gets to leave Tario.
After everything you did to him, don't even try to convince me not to feel bad for this poor son of a bitch, okay?
Fair.
All right. So, it gets towards the evening, and Saren and Nia are still sort of poring over books, and you can take a couple of the ones that you're sort of transcribing and trying to figure out with you, and you get fetched for dinner. At the moment, there is you get there. Sigmund's there, Oric is there, and then Saren and Nia walk in.
So Nia sees Oric at the table and freezes in the doorway, just staring.
Oric, do you want to roll a perception check, since I imagine you're still like looking at your book while you've been told others are coming, so you're just like reading through your book and trying to figure things out.
Mm-hmm. Is Nia, or is she disguised?
Nia is Nia. Nia looks like Nia. But I don't know if you've seen Nia like this, because I don't know if you didn't. I don't know if you saw Nia's.
I wasn't there. I was dead.
Stuff. Yeah, that's right. That was Galamea. I mean, you know her face though.
Yeah, and you also, you haven't seen Oric as Oric now, with a scraped up face that is jabbed and cut open, basically, and no fancy clothes anymore.
Yeah, I just see pink-haired elf with his face in a book and like, oh shit.
That's true. I am very distinct.
We still look like each other. We just have been through some crap.
Yeah, 16.
16. Yeah, no, that's easy enough. So you sit there and you kind of hear them open the door, and you look up straight at Nia.
No, they're just staring at each other. Nia's eyes are like his biggest saucers.
Would you like to come sit down? Dinner will be coming soon.
You both all right?
Oh, I believe they actually know each other.
Oh.
He's one of them, Saren.
One of them?
One of the group that I've heard about.
Yes, they've managed to slay a demigod that was preying on the realm. It's very...
We didn't kill it. I don't know who told you we killed it.
is a
If you sent
strong
it to
word.
hell, we didn't kill it.
You what? No, I'm sorry. Let's all sit down and we can start that again. I'm confused. No, you weren't sent. No, you were in prison. You weren't sent off to. Yes, I recognize you now. Thank you. I just haven't said it.
there
I've got
was-
bigger things to deal with.
Yeah, there was another one. You're thinking of a different one.
What have you guys done? Well, I haven't been here.
What have
Okay.
you done? You disappeared.
Tried to survive. That's what I did.
She attacked Lord Umberheart and we put her in prison for a while. However,
I did not attack your lord. My brother attacked your lord.
The last I saw you, you were near death, and we were
You left
tending
me.
you back to health. That's not true. We were imprisoned. You were on Yako's ship, and we were meant to come back to Yako's ship, and then suddenly you disappeared. We were trying to find a way to help you.
You have a very funny way of doing it. No letter, just leaving some words with Tamel.
I don't know if you understand the... Well, you should understand the terms of what happens when you're imprisoned.
From what I
You're
understand,
bonded.
you were around for a time before they came for you.
And we were with you.
Auric, it sounds like your character's getting a little frustrated. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can I get you to roll an Arcana check?
Oh, no.
Oh no. Blood rain?
With Auric learning emotions
In
comes
the dark.
him starting to become short.
Mhm.
I like the serenading popcorn. Just watching everything happen.
This is what happened. No, this is-
Oh my goodness.
I like to imagine
is
Saren and
memeable.
this other dude are just watching this happen. Like, okay.
I need art of Saren just being like 25.
25. Yeah, it's the Michael Jackson popcorn meme, but it's
Yeah.
Saren. So, as you're sitting there, you are giving off a little bit of energy, and what you see is you feel from between the cracks in the wood in the roof and the walls, little tiny spiders start emerging and like just making webs along the beams and things. If anyone wants to try to see this themselves, it's a perception at disadvantage because they're very small.
Okay, I want to try to see this. Sure, I have a permanent negative to my perception though. That'll be fun.
Are you guys sitting at the table yet, by the way, or are you just standing there waiting, being sassy?
Nia after a second would have gone to sit down because at this point she's that's a D20 on the floor now. I'll get that later. Yeah, no, that is a 0.
Cool. So you don't see any of it.
Cool.
Now, Sloan, when you come to again, because it's the first time you've properly full on become a bear, not just like a half transformation.
Just a bear.
Just a big old bear.
Big bird.
You kind of come to and you're back in your clothes. You can taste blood on your mouth, and your weapon is like still in hand, and you sort of just like slumped on the floor, and you look up and you're in front of the mage school, the Collegio Arcana.
Not here?
No, you don't really remember. You get flashes of blood and fighting, and you haven't got any wounds on you. You remember fighting vaguely some big creature that your sword hurt, but it kept regenerating, and eventually you started feeling the power leave you, so you ran, which didn't feel right, and you were thinking, where's Auric? Where's Auric? Where's Auric? And when you came to, you were here.
Okay. I don't. The claws are gone, right? I don't look like
Yep.
a bear right now. All right, cool. but I know that I still have that capacity.
Okay. Yep.
So, I will stand up and put the Kopesh away and just kind of like almost tiptoe inside. Just like I'm being really, really careful because I know how dangerous I am.
The guards see you and sort of like they step back like, we were expecting you. You can enter. Sloan, yes? As you walk past.
Yes.
Yeah. As you look at one of them in the torchlight, because it is now quite dark, you see your reflection in his breastplate. And
oh no.
you have these sort of like blood tears like etched into your skin.
Oh, that's new.
Across your eyes and face, they sort of like reach down a bit.
And are they blue or are they red?
They're red.
That's cool. Okay. Well, I will see that, and I think I'd be scared of it. So I think I would just kind of I'd go find somewhere just to sit for a little bit and just like kind of just like hide and just like I'm scared of myself.
Yeah. And as you're moving away, he'll be like, if you want to wash up, there's a stable on the back, but they have water in the trough. They're waiting for your dinner.
No. Just go find like a corner to sit in or something.
Okay. How long would it be before you sort of get up and go to dinner? Like 10 minutes, half an hour, an hour?
Do I know that the dinner's happening tonight?
Yeah, he just yelled out like they're waiting, like, you know.
Oh, right. Okay. I think it'd be a while. It'd be like an hour.
Okay. So at a certain point, I guess you snap out of this. Are you going to wash up or just go straight to dinner?
No, I'm going to wash up first and try and like maybe go like see if those come off.
Yeah, so like I said, there's the horse's trough. You can sit there and you can wash your blood from your hands and your face a bit, and you try to find a reflective surface and they're not there, even though like most of your war paint's smudged off now or gone, but they are still there.
Okay. Can I find like a cloak or something so I can like pull the hood over my face?
Yeah, you have your bearskin cloak. You can just.
I still have that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that up so that it casts a shadow over my face.
Okay. You make your way inside and you find the dining hall. It's been about an hour and 15 minutes now, and the people at the table have been sitting there for about 45 minutes, like in like this sullen silence, waiting for Sloan. Because 6 months like, we should wait, not his voice. I don't even remember now. The guest of the last guest will be here shortly. If you just would all wait, we could reheat the food. We have heating plates. She shouldn't be long. And that's when Sloan sort of walks in from behind Nia currently.
No.
You see Oryx sitting on the other side of the table, and then there's two women with their backs to you currently as the door swings open.
Do we hear the door swing open?
You sure do.
Yeah, I'm turning to look.
Oh, damn, Oric was gonna get up and like just go and like grab Sloan and be like, no, you don't want to be here.
Yeah, no, she looks, and again,
and I'm
wide-eyed.
I'm like looking down, like I'm not looking at anybody.
I guess only Saren would be able to see this, since me and Saren are sitting on the same side and I have my back to Auric. Nia looks afraid. She doesn't look angry. She looks scared.
Can I get the elves in the party, and half elves, to make a perception check, please, with your slightly heightened senses?
Where'd that go?
Sorry, Humi. Saren. Just sitting there.
I'm not a human. My
I know.
Okay, that wasn't terrible. That was a 15. That could have been worse with my -3.
6.
17.
17.
No, 17.
The 17 will do it. You can smell blood coming off of Sloane.
Hushed up.
Oh.
Oh, Sloane, right? Would you like to? Did you? Well, Auric said that Leaf and Saros, the rest were not coming. So, would you like to sit down and we can begin dinner and talking about the next step you're going to take together? We have many many things to do and not a whole lot of time.
I'll just nod without saying anything and kind of like just like you can almost see that she's like trying to make herself smaller.
Yeah.
I'll go around and I'll find like a chair that's near or next to Auric and just sit. I'm still not looking at anybody. I don't know that I would have noticed Nia yet. Although if I saw Auric, if I saw Auric, I would have seen her.
I'll put a hand on Nia's shoulder.
Yeah, you can feel her shaking.
Just rubs like her back, just kind of trying to comfort, like silently without saying anything. Just letting her know that she's here.
Family dinner's a little awkward, and this is definitely feeling like that.
You see this one here. She, in the heat of battle and somewhat of protecting us, she may or may not have killed this one here, pointing to Nia's partner. And there's a history of violence against Nia's family from her tribe, and Nia seems to also think that we abandoned her because there's lapse in her memories due to whatever's been going on with her since she went missing. I bet you that robot arm has something to do with it, but just catching you up.
That's a lot to take in. Look, well, people will feel how they feel, but Nia, you must understand that if she was protecting you,
She wasn't protecting anyone when she killed my brothers. She wasn't protecting anyone when she killed my father. She knew who that was, and she could have stopped, and she didn't.
She knew who your father was before?
No, Arron. When she was fighting Arron, we'd fought him before. She knew who he was, and she kept doing it anyway.
He sort of like starts like backing up his chair, like and he just reaches over for his glass of wine and just sips it.
You know,
Auric will absolutely like take a, if there is soup in front of Auric, he will take a sip of it. As he says, well, like I said, there is a lapse in Nia's memory. She didn't learn as much as we did during her time of comatose. She didn't learn about the potential issues going on with Sloane that may have caused such things. And this is not exactly a clean meetup. Reunion.
A lapse in memory, like
not lapse in memory. I guess she was comatose for a while due to the horrifying things done to her at the hands of her brother and a figure known as Kenora. We were trying to find a solution how to cure her of those ailments when she disappeared and we were imprisoned by the capital.
I was under the impression that Nia, you were some sort of diviner of rare skill. I thought you'd be able to find this information from your missing piece quite easily.
Something happened that's completely disrupted my tie to the weave.
Oh.
All of this, Sloane hasn't been saying anything, but you'll hear my voice. It's really low, it's really small, and she's talking to Nia. I am scared of me too, Nia.
So, Oric, I'm assuming you mentioned that there's something. I'm Saren, by the way. Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure is all mine.
It seems that both our companions are not feeling the best of sorts. So, I don't mean to talk as if you weren't here, Sloan, but it looks like you're very uncomfortable to speak right now. But it seems that Oric knows what is happening with you. That seems to be compromising your actions. And what is that exactly?
Someone is echoing, by the way. I can hear them come back. So make sure if you got your speakers playing, it's not too loud. Continue.
Talking to me, Saren?
Asking Oric.
Okay.
Yeah, because you seem very not well right now, so she doesn't want to force you to talk.
Appreciate it.
Eric will put the spoon down for his cold soup. Well, I know more than most. We've been dealing with a certain entity of some sort, or corruption's not the right word, more influence from another worldly entity that has been influencing our friend here through her weapon. It is... I won't go too in depth now, but from my conversations with Sloan, it tends to come out in the heat of combat, fighting, and blood. Sometimes to unfortunate conclusions.
Sloan, can I get you to make a wisdom save?
Like right now.
No, but I've got a question. The sword. Well,
Yeah.
the sword. Was the sword being in Veclaron Keeper knowledge, or was that something I knew?
It was Keeper knowledge.
So I'm guessing I wouldn't remember that because I can't remember the last Keeper.
Nope, that's correct.
9.
So everyone understands, but obviously this is a metagame thing. Shelby, is Nia feigning weakness, or is she actually scared?
Honestly, it's probably a little of both, because Sloan does genuinely terrify her, but she also knows that she's tiny and can use that to her advantage.
Okay.
Probably more she's actually scared than she's faking. She's probably just playing up that she's these already existing fearful feelings.
So when you start feeling your heart beat a little bit faster, you sort of start salivating a little bit at the idea of combat and your berryness being food. But you also get the feeling that there's more happening with this prey creature across the table from you than you can see. So that logical, very small for Sloan, but that logical part of your brain, part of your brain is sort of trying to tell you something, and it's creating this unease within you of like, you know, something's weak, go get it, chase it down, hunt it, and also, but I think there's a trick here.
So when I start to feel like this, is there any part of me that like recognizes that this is happening, and like do I realize that I'm not starting, well, I guess it's the very beginning stages of starting to get out of control?
It is the very beginning stages. It's kind of now that you've accepted this deity, it's more its intuition about what is dangerous, what is not, what is prey, what is not. just leaking into you.
Okay. And I guess my question here is, would Sloane have the brain capacity to what I want to do is walk away because I don't want to hurt Nia. Would she have the capacity to do that right now?
Yeah, like you don't feel like you're about to lose control.
Okay.
It's not that sort of thing. You're not getting the anger and the rage and the need for battle. Just this sort of like something's happening to me.
I can recognize it. Okay. All right.
So yeah.
Cool. So when I start to feel that way, I'll just suddenly say, I have to go and push back the chair really abruptly and just leave. Just go somewhere.
Sigma will be like, Sloane, please stay. It's been an effort to get everyone in the same room, and I would hate to force you to stay. Please, we need to get through a single dinner.
No, it's not a good idea if I stay. I'm feeling things, and it's not good.
I can keep you fine. Just stay. You will not harm anyone with me here.
How do you know that? And then as I say, how do you know that? I'll lift my head up so that he can see my face.
He sort of sees it and he like cocks his head. It's like there's a slight glimmer of fear in his eyes. I need you to not resist this and everything will be fine. And Auric, you watch him reach out and use the maglock snare.
I would stand up if I saw him starting the components of it. I would stand up and kind of not block him from doing it, but I would put a hand on Sloane's shoulder and say,
and you would see it for the first time too.
Sloane, just stay for a little bit to hear what Sigmund has to say. I will try to keep you safe and us safe. This is not the intention of the spell, but I'm just going to cast Protection from Evil and Good on Sloane.
Okay. The Sigmund just says, look, we're waiting for Ignis to arrive. He should be back shortly. If we all just sit, you can reconcile, talk, we can start to discuss your next steps, because frankly, I'm not sure if the city will stay standing much longer. We're losing too many people. Ignis has gone out to deal with some infected people in the southern district, staying at a tavern. He went there a few months back to deal with their parents. We now think the children might also be infected, and he might not handle that particularly well. So let's all sit, talk about our plans outside the city, and I will try to hold the fort here for as long as possible so you can get back and relieve us.
I do not think you understand. The longer I am in here, the more dangerous I am. I should be by myself.
Well, that's why if you stay and discuss, we can get you out of here as soon as possible.
Sigmund, do you happen to have your servers here? Do they happen to have any sweets?
Yes, we can provide a sweet or two.
I find sweets tend to calm Sloane down.
I believe we have some jam.
Do you have any creme brulee?
No, we have some sort of jam jelly donut thing that would that work?
Whatever you
Just
will suffice.
I'm.
Nia's gonna speak up. Do you still have the bag, Sloane?
Do I still have the bag?
Great. The one the innkeeper's wife
I'm
gave
trying to keep my face away from you because I do not want you to see what's on my face. But
no.
I'll like.
You will notice this is kind of like a glimpse of old Nia coming back to remind you of your sweet bag.
There's
My sweet
currently nothing in the sweet bag.
Ah, no. That's
Sorry.
fair, though. We were terrible people in that town.
You reminded her about a bag. Did she just got a bag of sweets with her?
An innkeeper's wife gave her a bag that sometimes had creme brulee in it because she
I've
really
been meaning
likes...
to go back to that town because it is quite powerful magic for an innkeeper.
This is all very fascinating, but maybe we should talk about why I've gathered you all. Saren, if you'd like to take the lead, I had hired you to do a job, and this will be your crew when Ignis gets here.
Right.
I have the authority currently, as the representatives of the Umberheart. I can ask. Well, you, Auric, and Sloane were servants, so I'm giving them to you for this mission, and I'll also provide anything you may need to a point. We do not have endless funds, so
Of course.
Saren, you have the table.
All right. Well, as said before, my name is Saren Talonray, and I've been hired here to, surprisingly, I'm still very surprised that actually we want to keep with this, but I suppose actually it might be good because we were going after some magic tomes, I believe, over the borderlines. And remind me of the name I say as a player, because
Yakelheim.
Yuckelheim. I was half right. Yuckelheim. And I myself scout out there quite often, sneak out, but this is a lot deeper than I've been before, and I cannot go alone. And I've heard about your group, and there seems to be a lot of chaos, but through it all, I'm sensing that you are going for the best intentions here, which is what I care about. And there's obviously a lot that needs to be talked about amongst your group and to be figured out. There seems to be misunderstandings, and discussion can be hard on high emotions. That's something I understand. So if I can be there as a third-party mediator of sorts for you all to come to understanding and maybe be better, then I will. But at the end of the day, there's a job, there's a good purpose, there's a good reward, and I would like for you all to join me on this journey. So, can I count on you all?
Mia doesn't say anything, but she just kind of nods.
Auric will look to Sloane to see where she's at.
See, her eyes are really they're really big and really, there's a mix of sadness and fear in them, but I nod.
Auric will kind of like look at his hand and then like the one hand he has and just put it on Sloane's forearm. He's not gonna hold your hand, but he's gonna do that. We were heading in that direction anyway. You may know the cult is active in Yakelheim. You've mentioned it. We have
So
business.
You do. That's... Don't take this the wrong way, but that's a bit wonderful to hear because I have some business with them as well. So maybe we can work a bit further beyond this job.
Perhaps. I have personal stake in the end of the cult. We all have cosmic stake in the end of the cult. And as I'm saying end of the cult, I'm going to keep looking at Nia.
After a minute, she's been looking down, like staring at like her plate, just listening, and she's gonna look up and like her eyes meet yours, but she doesn't say anything.
It's one piece of the puzzle, but it's the most pressing.
I agree.
There are connections between the cult and the Five's presence in this lands. And he's looking at Nia the entire time he's saying these things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nia, she every now and then meets your gaze, but then she looks back down.
Well, I would love to hear more about this. We can have a moment to speak. Yes.
At some point in private, Saren.
Yes.
If we're
I'm glad that we're on the same page. Yeah, not now. Not now. Well then, I'm glad that...
No, I just had a question.
Mm-hmm.
How much did Sam tell me about how much the Five was involved in the party? Did I know the party was going on trials for Saras? Or did they keep that information from me?
I think it was mentioned that Saros was being tested.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically by pain as well. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I just remember back to our talks. Yes, it was.
Okay. Or can I ask something?
Boss.
How many of the Five did you encounter? How many meddled?
Well, we encountered primarily the conjured beast. We didn't only saw him once, as he is, as you may know, a bit stealthy, but we saw the mechanized, constructed one, or at least Theros saw him several times. No, pain we saw, but madness was who we dealt with the most.
At the mention of madness, you kind of see like Nia grab at her chest a little bit, like you know when you're remembering a pain, right? And you're just kind of like, that's not a fun memory.
Yes, madness. Oh, I have intimate experiences with madness. And their pet.
Methods.
Can I continue?
We only saw a third one as she was leveling the capital. And we've heard of the others.
Okay. She just nods.
Sam. And he's watching her when he says Sam.
She does tense. Like, that's something Nia can't hide. She does, like, visibly tense up and, like, look uncomfortable.
I was gone for a bit. Bonded, held. Seems his last few months have been just imprisonment, but I'll hold up his no hand.
Did I know about his imprisonment, Nova? Did I know the Five had taken him? Or did they not? Was that when I was off doing pay?
That was when
Pain's
you were off doing
trial.
things. The other thing is, Auric, when you look down and hold up your arm, you hadn't been noticed being so caught up in this conversation. The spiders I was talking about currently are weaving a silk, sort of like they're building out from the stump of your arm currently. It's like almost like solid silk prosthetic being built.
The first thing Auric does
Scream.
is shriek, actually, for a moment in the middle of his dramatic challenge of Nia.
Oh.
As he just waves his hand and a bunch of baby spiders go flying all over the place.
What is it? What's wrong?
Nothing, it's fine. As I
What's
imagine, like, the half-made hand is there, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's like, because your arm got cut off, like,
oh, yeah,
relatively
you're
high.
right, yeah.
So, like, it's now down to, like, right by the wrist.
I just, like, put my hand on the table, and Auric is just like, it is fine. I am sorry. It's just the painful memories of that time.
So, clarification, I absolutely did not know that
Yeah,
Auric
that's
had been
correct.
taken. Okay. Yeah, no, Nia genuinely looks confused. There's no like anger, no trying to hide things. She looks like confused when you say that you were taken.
Sigmund holds his head like, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt your conversation, but I did organize this dinner to have you all meet again to figure out your next step into your
Aren't we waiting on Ignis?
We are, but it does not mean we cannot talk and start planning and just fill him in. When everything is sorted, I have to some expense gathered the material to get you all translocated to the capital, and from there you can either start your journey. You could go over the mountains, or you can, I believe, from what Tamel was saying, your friend Yako is still in the port there. You could travel with him.
See, mention of Tamel, Nia like looks like genuinely guilty for a minute.
So let's start thinking about our next step, and we'll end the session there, so we can do a really quick run through of favorite moments, and because we haven't done it in a while, and then we'll raid someone. I'll let our good old tech find someone to raid while we're talking about this. So real fast, firstly, I hope everyone had a good time tonight. There was a lot of character stuff. There was a lot of chatting and figuring out how things are going. So I hope everyone had a good time. I hope you guys that were watching enjoyed it. But we'll start with Shannon. Favorite moment in like short from everyone.
Okay. I love how Saren just effortlessly slid into that leadership role. Like that, I love how, like, we needed somebody like that desperately. So
We
thank
really
you
did.
for being that for us. Nia, I love just the small little character choices that you're making. They're subtle, but they're powerful. You know, like just how you describe what Nia's doing and how she reacts. Like it's very visceral. So kudos to you on that. Auric, your interaction with Gladstone was my favorite tonight. That was so frickin' good, and so just like I loved the improv from both of you. So that's my favorite for the two of you. It was so good. And then
Your favorite Sloane moment?
Yeah, for Sloane, I don't know. I liked the scene at the beginning where she's meeting with this entity and finally just like, fuck, fine. If it'll get you to leave me alone.
Will it get this to stop? Then fine. I don't like this anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry, Shannon. He's like bullied and bullied and bullied. You could have opted out of it. But
I could have, but then I'm sure you would have brought him right back.
Well, that seems like it wouldn't have been
Or
the
you
best
lost
option.
a bunch of
Also,
stuff.
not gonna lie, I really wanted to know what the makeup change was, so I'm real excited. I'm gonna need
She
a description
only accepted
of
it for the
that.
makeup change.
I
For the
will-
makeup change. Yeah, you
I
gotta
will-
send me a description so I can figure that out for next week.
tell you something a little later about if you had said no. All right.
Okay.
Kelsey, favorite moments.
It's me. So for Sloane, it made me sad, but I really like how you played off like her whole demeanor, like when she came back into it, and like how she was just so small. Like I could just feel it with every like little motion that she did, and it was just like, oh, slow. And you feel so bad for her. Nia, I personally and selfishly am glad that she came out a little bit of her shell and like showed her true face like around Sarah and down in the library. So I really like that. And then Auric, to not repeat how I love the Gladstone interaction, I just love the book of just shut. It's just that was just so good.
That was
So
great.
good. I just love that. Just perfect acting with the Auric right there.
Okay. Next up will be Sean.
So my favorite Sloane moment. Generally, I just always enjoy the polar dichotomy that is Sloane between vicious monster and gentle giant that Shannon plays. I think something that stood out to me was how inquisitive Sloane became in the vision with the god. Like just the thing that a really defining part of Sloane that's not talked about often is that she asks questions often, and we also often kind of just think of it like, oh, it's childlike wonder, and she asks questions like a child would, but she really wants to know what's going on in the world around her, and I think that's why Auric likes her so much. That's not the only person. I don't know. I paused there dramatically. Saren, I agree with the leadership thing. I think it's like sorely needed, but I also really, really like how she's treating Nia right now. It's not motherly, it's older sibling like.
Yeah.
Which is especially poignant for Nia because of what's happened to her siblings. And also because you are literally it's like the duel of the fates. You know, you are the opposite of Sam for her. And Sam is the older sibling that's leading her astray, and you're the older sibling trying to keep her safe. And I love that. Nia, similarly, I loved to see Nia. I like that Nia's still there, and you're not just, a completely different character. And yeah, I agree 100%. The info dump and the emotional overload of the library scene when you were telling her about us was awesome, because you're right, it's like just like to hear Nia talking openly about how she felt during that time, because I remember distinctly after like a bunch of chaos, Nia just like shutting down at one point around all of us, just processing.
Girl never learned communication skills. She's learning them still.
Exactly. And I remember like the few conversations you had with a few of us about that before, particularly Saros, and one time with Auric about just like what's going on and learning about this world. I think I'm very into where Nia's going with this. And DM moment, Gladstone, baby. Like, you crushed it as Gladstone. Like, I was not expecting that, especially, which I'm super into. I'm super down. I'm so excited for Gladstone.
He's a fey creature, so he's kind of a little bit dickish, but like,
yeah,
but he's also like, he knows he's bound by contract.
Exactly. I love that. For Auric, my favorite moment was a quiet moment that is my favorite just because I like that I did it. Not necessarily it was the best thing I did tonight. At the end of the conversation with Gladstone, because Gladstone could have, was a very fun, improv heavy thing. And I really enjoyed that. And it could have just kind of stayed that as kind of like a fun, jokey thing. I like that I decided to sort of throw a little bit of Oryx's perspective into there about reality. And when I was talking about like, well, as much as I abuse you, Gladstone, you do get to go home to some other place where you have family and good times, and I stay here in the shit.
Yeah.
That was a great line.
Yeah.
It's a really great line.
I like that. And Shelby.
Okay, so favorite Sloan moment was it was that you listened to Nia when she asked if you had the creamy brulee bags. That was like I really liked that interaction, that even if we have the issues we do, I like that tiny little moment, that little glimpse of what once was, of like, wait, don't you still have the bag? I don't know. I feel like it gives a little bit of hope to us being able to work shit out. Saren, thank you for being Nia's new big sister. Please pull her out of the hell that she has put herself in. I really just enjoyed interacting with Saren and Nia's been trying to articulate these feelings for a while, and who she's been articulating them before has been feeding the anger, but it was really cool how you simmered that down and was like, hold on. So I'm going to be there for you for this, but this is something that needs to be discussed. These are high emotions. Maybe this isn't the whole story. Something else is going on here, which isn't something that she's really been presented with before. So I like that a lot. Favorite Auric moment. This was really small. It was a really small thing in your dialogue, but it was you saying that you had personal interests in the cult, and obviously all of us knowing what it is. Just it's that your daughter's always in your mind, and it's really, really sweet for Auric. And DM moment, Gladstone's son's birthday party.
Also, I didn't know you had a family. You never asked. I love how sassy.
I love how sassy Gladstone is, and I so wish we could have heard him be sassy before.
Oh man. Well, it's because
so
this is the first time Oryx's been like, "What do you think?" And he's just like, "I get to actually like have an opinion." Like Shel said, he learned emotions, and all of a sudden, Gladstone through his bond is kind of feeling that and getting that, and maybe they'll form a bond, or maybe they'll
absolutely not. That would be such an unhealthy bond to form, but I love them anyway.
No, we are going to form a very unhealthy bond.
I mean, it can't get much more unhealthy than right now. Like, hi Gladstone, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, Gladstone's just going to develop Stockholm syndrome at this point. It'll be fine.
All right, so I'll do a quick set of favorite moments, and then we're going to do like one sentence goodbyes because it's getting late. I know our tech has to go. So, favorite moments. Sloan, you coming back from your traumatic giving in to a evil god to dinner and just being like, I don't want anyone to see me. I just want to, and no, I need to be here, but I can't. Yeah, it was really, really good. And also like the physical acting of like you constantly had your head down, like you made sure you were never like really looking straight at the camera. It was good. I liked it. Sean, I think the best part for you was you trying to understand how magic was going to work and like that problem solving, and then as it sort of like evolved from that to this conversation with Gladstone, where it's like you've realized how bad the current situation for you is. You kind of know that not everyone is in this situation, but for you guys, it's not been the most joyous ride ever. So it really felt like when you were saying, at least you have a home to go back to, you're kind of like, I want to get there. That's like, you want to get your daughter, you want to go just fucking relax. So, yeah.
Relax for a few centuries.
I like Saren, where she was taking that leadership role and sort of like navigating a bit. Like you let people talk, but also you're like, okay, so this is what we kind of got to do. This is where we're kind of going. Let's and like that's why like Sigmund was like, you need to make a plan, because Sam's been like, all right, so here's the job, and then Nia's like, why is everything so bad? I'm like, okay.
That is not how that happened, but sure.
I'm obviously condensing and paraphrasing.
Always blaming me.
Only when it's your fault. Look, the for Nia, it was definitely like, even as the DM, I couldn't tell how much of things you're saying are a con for these people and how much is you being authentic. And I was sitting like, this is really well done. So yeah, Shelby, that was a great job. There was also this point where you started describing how everywhere this group goes, people die. I'm like, oh, she's describing the 5, and then I was like, oh shit, she's describing the party. And then I started thinking about how, like, to the outside observer, you guys in the 5 are effectively the same thing. They could hear about the destruction going around and think, like, oh, that's the 5. Then you guys walk out and they're like, oh, I thought they looked different. Like, yeah. So,
I don't know. Slum could make a pretty decent madness if we dressed her up right.
Yep.
And I mean, just piss me off enough, and
yeah, there we go. There we go.
And that's the thing. So yeah. Just quickly have a look through the chat. We have pretty much what Josh says, what I said with the favorite Nia stuff. You know, the balance of con and honesty was really, really good. Apparently he also liked the Gladson's birthday. Sean giving the download to Sigmund, surprising diplomatic. Yeah. And then like just like the constant overload of like information, like you're like, oh, then this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then we also did that. And it's like, oh yeah, I can see why she might hate you. I can see why there might be a problem. So, and also because it's just so matter of fact, like it's just, yeah. Acronis Wolf liked the floppy spider silk arm. Yeah, that was, I've been thinking about that for a while. Anyways, favorite Kelsey from Josh was just being there for Nia. It's a nice caring person who's very needed. Even if Nia is playing you, yeah, unfortunately. Acronis Wolf, Gladson, definitely favorite moment. It was hilarious. Josh again. Favorite slow moment was Shannon's physical acting. So yeah. From the dinner. So yeah, that was all very well done. I had a really good session with you guys. Thank you very much. I'm going to get you guys like a 1-sentence goodbye, and then we're going to find someone to raid. So, Shannon, who are you? Where are you from? What you do?
Hi, I'm Shannon. I'm from Paradise RPG. You can find me on all socials at S3E04. I have been your giant but trying to be tiny barbarian this evening. I'll be a rogue on Monday if you want to come join us in Paradise.
All right. Kelsey.
That's me. I'm Kelsey, also Roguzu. I do art and stuff and tell about how I DM'd in Atlantis. I make shit up. And I make shit up as I rogue, too. This is how I do. So, see you next week.
Hi, everybody. I'm the DM over at Paradise RPG for our flagship show, Advantage in Paradise. I do all sorts of creative things over there and here at Roll for Damage. And I'm excited to share those with you further. So come check us out there and check us out more here.
And lastly, we have Shelby.
Hi, I'm Shelby. I'm from a channel called Whistle While You Work, where I tell stories from my D&D adventures and draw stuff. And I have been Nia, our surprisingly manipulative little child. And if you like the way I play this big, beefy, dual-sworded lady over on Necrohana and Joe Cat's Twitch. So you should come check us out on Wednesdays.
Okay. Hey, Auric is the one who taught you to be manipulative. Remember, all the way back he said, hey, you can use that.
Yes.
And now I am, and you're mad at me for it.
Bad dad.
Yup. Bad dad for life.
I've had 2 bad dads now. It's great. Someone
right.
needed to fill his role.
Hi, I'm Nova. I help run Roll for Damage. I kind of own Roll for Damage, but I get a lot of help from AJ Winters, who just recently wrapped up Academy of Xandar. The whole thing is up on YouTube, and I get just as much, maybe more, from Josh the Pirate, who's our tech right now, and is returning for Humblewood very soon. He will tell you in chat just how long, but I can't imagine it's more than a couple weeks at this point. It's an excellent show on our Monday night slot. Highly recommend it. Go check it out. Thanks again to Bree for the art, Sirenscape for the music, and Hero Forge for the sponsorship. We love you all. Thank you very, very much. We are going to raid Nerds of the West. I'm going to run a 30-second ad before I do. If you can stick around and watch it, it'd be really great. Super helps the channel. And yeah, we love all of you. We appreciate all of you. And we'll see you all next week. Say bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
It's always